Prologue, the offer of a lifetime. The locker room hummed with life, voices overlapping, laughter bouncing off the walls. Leroy "Smoke" Matthews sat on the wooden bench, his Kansas City Monarchs uniform still damp with sweat. But his mind wasn't on the game. It was on the Major League Baseball contract in his hands. The Brooklyn Dodgers wanted him, not to sit the bench, not as a token, a starting player, a contract that could change his life. His teammates crowded around, slapping his back, hooting in celebration. "It's your time, Smoke! Man, you about to be big time!" Satchel Paige leaned in with his trademark smirk, tapping the contract. "Hope you remember us when you sitting in them big stadiums, kid." Smoke chuckled, shaking his head. He should be thrilled. He should be signing this thing right now. But something wasn't sitting right. As the team packed up for the long bus ride to the next game, he stuffed the contract in his duffel bag and followed them onto the road. That night, as the old bus rumbled down the highway, Smoke shifted in his seat, the stiff cushion digging into his side. He adjusted, leaning against the cool window, watching the moon flicker behind the trees. He tried to shake the feeling in his gut. Tried to let his body sink into the rhythm of the road. Eventually, sleep took him, and that's when the dream came. The glimpse of the future. The ballpark was silent, not just quiet, but hollow. Smoke stood on the pitcher's mound staring out at the empty stands. No brass bands, no laughter, no Sunday best-dressed families. Just rows and rows of vacant seats stretching into nothing. The wind kicked up a pile of old black newspapers along the third base line. He bent down, heart pounding as he picked one up. The Chicago Defender. Negro Leagues collapse as more stars signed to the majors. The Pittsburgh Courier. Final season of the Negro National League. The end of an era. The Kansas City Call. Once a cultural staple, Negro Leagues fade into obscurity. His stomach clenched. "What is this?" he whispered. "What happens when you leave?" Smoke turned sharply. Josh Gibson stood at home plate, bat resting on his shoulder. Behind him, Satchel Paige, Cool Papa Bell, Buck Leonard, Rube Foster, all watching him. "That ain't true, Josh!" Josh motioned toward the ghostly, faded images of fans who once filled the stands. The men in church suits, the women with picnic baskets, the kids dreaming of the game. Josh's voice was steady. "The leagues ain't just baseball, Smoke, it's ours. We built this, we own this. If we go, we don't get it back." Smoke turned again, searching the crowd, but the images were already starting to fade. The weight in his chest grew heavier. Josh stepped forward, his eyes locking onto Smoke's. "Ain't no wrong answer, kid. Ain't no right one neither." The wind howled. The stadium collapsed into darkness. Smoke jerked awake, gasping. The bus rumbled on, the road stretching endlessly ahead. The contract sat in his duffel, waiting. The battle within. The apartment was dim, the contract still unsigned. Dorothy sat on the couch, flipping through a magazine. "You gonna sign it or just stare at it all night?" Smoke rubbed his temples. "Dot, it don't feel right." She exhaled. "Baby, you get to be in the history books. Ain't that what you wanted?" He turned to her. "I wanted to play ball. I wanted to be great, but this ain't just about me no more." Dorothy's voice softened. "Smoke, it's the majors. Ain't you tired of broken down buses? Ain't you tired of bad hotels, no real money? Ain't you tired of playing for my own?" Smoke interrupted. Dorothy hesitated. Smoke leaned against the windowsill, looking out at the city lights. "Dot, they ain't just taking me. They taking all of us. Ain't gonna be nothing left when they through." Silence. Dorothy traced a circle on the magazine's cover. "Then what do you do?" The decision. The office smelled like fresh leather and cigars. The Brooklyn Dodgers scout grinned as he slid the contract forward. "Okay, this is it, kid. You're gonna make history." Smoke stared at the paper. His fingers traced the edges. He thought about the stadium lights, the roaring crowds, the chance to prove himself against the best. He thought about Josh Gibson standing in that empty ballpark staring at him with those knowing eyes. His fingers twitched and he exhaled. Slowly, he pushed the contract back. I just want to say thank you, Smoke said, his voice steady, for the opportunity, for seeing me. The scout's grin faltered. What are you saying, son? Smoke nodded, standing. I'm going to roll with my own a little while longer. Silence. The scout's gaze hardened. Kid, you don't get second chances at this. Smoke slid his monarch's cap onto his head, adjusting the brim. I know. He tipped his cap and walked out. Epilogue. Legacy lives on. The Negro Leagues didn't last forever, but they didn't die that day either. Smoke kept playing, kept filling stadiums with fans who looked like him. And when he finally did retire, the Negro Leagues were still standing, because owning your own, loving your own, that's worth more than any contract. Final line. You can be great for them, or you can be great for your own. I made my choice.